Coming up on Talk is Cheap, Puma Punku. Have you ever heard of this? These are structures in Bolivia that are to a T of precision. Edgar Mitchell says aliens are protecting us from nuclear war, and astronomers may have found a megastructure that could be alien near the Milky Way galaxy. Up next on Talk is Cheap. Welcome to Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk and talk is cheap. I am Dan Hohlfeld, and I'm joined by Dusty Long.
That's me.
And
TC Christman.
Woo!
TC's joining up with us. It's going to be great to see what he does. He's going to take over the Chem-Lite Bandits, and we hope to get that show back up and rolling.
Absolutely.
It'll be nice.
As soon as I get a password.
That's his fault. Blame the guy behind the cameras.
This is the Halloween special, folks. We know Halloween's right around the corner, and we got a little candy bowl here to celebrate. Do you gentlemen want something?
Kind of now.
Nice
Glad you
mention.
brought it up. What? A caramel apple toffee.
Yeah, I think
Never made this one. I was
Andy, you
younger.
want anything? I can throw you some.
Yeah, anything.
Anything? How about some nerds? You're a purple nerd
You want to
guy.
slide that dish forward a little bit?
Forward? Like that?
No.
Forward this way.
Oh,
Towards us.
it's his.
Forward for him is bad, yeah.
See, I didn't think about that.
Me either.
Can you slide it forward? I don't know which way's forward anymore. These any good? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I'm good. I think my sister picked these. Oh no, Jenna picked these out. Oh, Stacy picked them out.
You know, I picked the gobstopper, but now it's going to be banging in my mouth the whole time.
Yeah. I got taffy, so don't come to me anytime soon.
See, I don't think about stuff like that.
As long as we're having fun, though. You know, some fun. Look at Jenna's like really trying.
Remember that when
Practice.
you were recording your song, Andrew? You had a cough drop in your mouth, and we heard the cough drop bang in the song.
No shit.
Yeah.
No way. Was it a Halls or a Ricola?
Halls.
Oh, see?
Should've been a Ricola.
If it was a damn Ricola, you would have sang 4 times better.
Probably right.
His mouth is full of candy, too. Probably right. You're not bad.
Are there any jokes on there? There used to be jokes on there.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh my God, there is. All right.
Let's hear it.
All right.
Gotta get that taffy down.
Must be that good of a joke, huh?
Yeah. What did the trick-or-treat bucket say to the candy?
Open up.
You little shit.
What was it?
Hello, sweet thing.
Oh.
Spoilish.
You have the same one, don't you? You little shit. That's not fair. That's cheating.
Gotta do another one.
Yeah. She's over there gonna eat all the candy.
They saved money on printing the same joke
Right.
over and over again.
Is that a new one?
What is the ghoul's favorite flavor?
What is the ghoul's favorite flavor?
Oh, duels.
What?
Lemon slime.
That's like a
I don't know.
groaner. I mean, you don't even get
I
excited.
don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of a kick in the face.
Yeah. Where do they come up with these?
I was waiting for a joke and I just got nothing.
Like, don't they have little kids submit these jokes?
Oh
Online or
shit!
something?
I think they are little kids.
I
aren't
heard
no
they?
something
shit.
about that.
Maybe
I
we should
think
have
they're
made fun of
submitted
those.
online.
Yeah, this one's by JS. So thank you, JS, for this one.
It was better than the other one.
Yeah, whoever that one was, they failed.
That kid sucks.
We're planning on 2 episodes from now. We're going to have our new studio. It's going to be great. It's coming along awesome. We got 48-inch TVs. We won't have to lean forward like this to look at articles anymore. So
It'll be great.
if all goes right, this will be a little different in 3 weeks. So, all right, I'm going to start off here. So after all the shit I've shared, we can go ahead and say that aliens are real. It's done.
Absolutely.
Case
no doubt about
closed.
it.
We're done. Yeah. I agree.
So, next question: Why are they here and all that shit? So, one astronaut, you might know him, Edgar Mitchell. He did Apollo 14. He was the 6th man to walk on the moon. He says that they're here to protect us from nuclear war.
Don't we have a shit ton of nukes? Mm-hmm. They ain't doing a very good job.
Well, I hear they like appear over silos and stuff a lot.
Yeah, this is where he says it because, like in the 1945, they were testing atomic weapons in New Mexico, and they would have these UFO. They would launch a missile, or a nuke, I should say, and then they would have a UFO come. It would shine a beam at it, fly this way around it, shine another beam, and it's deactivated.
It flew into the frame like this, and it shot a beam of light at the warhead. Now, remember, all this stuff is flying at several thousand miles an hour. So this thing fires a beam of light at the warhead, hits it, fires another beam of light, and then flies out the way it came in. And the warhead tumbles out of space.
Really?
Yep.
No shit.
That's awesome.
That was part of the disclosure project. A guy came up and talked about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So they're kind of saving us from ourselves.
Well, we need it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're in a zoo. That's what it
It
is.
is.
It's like, no, we
we
get a
put
lot of
these people
revenue.
here.
Yeah.
Watch what they do. It's kind of like that spores game.
Oh, yeah,
Where you
spore,
make
yeah.
a little bacteria thing and you watch it grow up.
We're somebody's bacteria dish.
I don't remember that one.
Spore?
Oh, yeah, it was an EA game a while
Yeah.
ago.
Okay, it was about
Yeah,
5
you
years.
created like this little. It started out as like a single cell organism, and then you went through like the water, and you evolved, and you put different stuff on your body.
It'd take like quite a while.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's almost basically what it is. Because
Oh.
I'm just saying, he's coming out.
That's what he's saying.
He's been up in space. He's seen this stuff, so he knows what's right. I think he's actually. Somebody said too. That was in the comments that I think he was part of. He flew jets and shit too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. A lot of astronauts
Yeah.
actually did,
Yeah.
yeah. So he says that the UFOs are stopping us from nuking each other. But they can't stop us from killing each other over stupidity. That would be awesome.
Probably fun for them.
More or
Well,
less.
I know. We're just like two ant colonies always attacking each other over stupid shit. Well, you know what? This isn't the first time actually that I've heard of astronauts come out. Buzz Aldrin
Yep.
constantly talking about pyramids on the moon, aliens are real, full disclosure, and everything else.
He was in Apollo or?
He was the first man on the moon.
Oh yeah, first.
Well, no,
No, he was
No.
on
Yeah,
there, but he
yeah.
wasn't the first one. Armstrong was the first
Armstrong's
one on
was-
there.
or was it Armstrong? That's the one that was talking about it. Anyway, one of the first Apollo missions has to be the first Apollo mission.
It was.
Was it Buzz that goes around and talks to everybody
Buzz was
about
on
it?
there, I believe. He was in the ship with them. He was like the second man on the
Okay,
moon
yeah.
or something like that.
Anyway, one of them, I think it is Buzz that's going around the nation saying, "Hey, NASA's lying to you, blah blah blah," and he wants full disclosure. And yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. I know we're gonna have an article coming up soon about the moon landing too, so I don't want to get too in depth over it. But
Right.
it is interesting. These astronauts are out there saying, "Hey, they're real," but then everyone's like, he's fucking.
See, that's the
nuts."
problem. You get these these scientists. Oh, we don't know if they're here yet, but then we got astronauts that's saying they are here. We got prime ministers coming forward. We got who else? We got all these top level security clearance people that are saying that this stuff is definitely real.
Yep.
So
We just hush it all up. That's all right because my article you'll like because I
we're too
think we
scared.
might be able to say that there's actually
Protecting us
life
from
out there.
ourselves, the government thinks. Like if they knew this, they'd be freaking out and rioting and crap like that. That's one excuse I've heard.
Well, and
That we can't handle it.
You can't handle the truth.
I'll be honest. I kind of believe that because ultimately, if the government were to come out and say, "Hey, aliens are real. We're not alone," I think you would have an upheaval. Because, and not to be mean or derogatory towards anybody, but if there was alien life, how would you explain some religions?
Most
And
of
then
them you couldn't.
you couldn't. And then all of a sudden, you would have this humongous like, "Oh, that's wrong because my 2,000-year-old book says it's right," and this and that. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe we are so closed-minded that they're afraid that if we brought it out, I mean, there'd be riots and fights and
I think
arguments and everything else.
it gradually acclimating people. I think
Yeah.
pretty soon, like I said before I die, it will be out.
I mean, it would
Oh,
be
yeah.
nice.
I think even within
Absolutely.
like 20 years.
But see, and even if they come out with it, you're still gonna have non-believers. Just like climate change is one of my favorite ones. It's not real. I mean, 100 scientists say it is, and one politician's like, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but it's not real." It pisses me off. But however, that's why I want that mothership type thing. I want that humongous over the White House ship, like in Independence Day. Because that's like no doubt you cannot fight that. Well, there's still people like it was a mass hallucination, and these
Well,
people are drinking weird punch.
The other problem is, like the government has plans to. It's called Project Bluebeam to put a hologram in the sky of a staged alien invasion. So I mean, it could be something like that if they really wanted to too.
And I think it's and that'd be fine as long as there's something that that tangible. Yeah, that's all I really want anyway. And plus,
Holograms tangible?
it's going to prove to people that something's out there. If they're basing that on real technology and everything else. Like, here's how we're going to do it. I just want that UFO. Or that alien just knock on my door and be like, yo, what's up, bro? And I'll be like, wait, I need a bunch of pictures, some video. I got to call some people, because no one's going to believe me.
I'm really interested in just going off planet and seeing what other civilizations are
Yeah.
like.
I would love
Oh
to
my
do the
God,
travel
yeah.
through the stars.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Ever since I was wee young, man, that's all I wanted to
Or
do
the
is travel.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I want to go up there.
I got that Star Wars program too.
Oh,
Yeah, the
missile.
Yeah.
I was going to cover that, but All right, what do you got, TC?
I got the ancient site of Puma Punku. It's in Bolivia, South America. It's strange because if you can see, mainstream archaeologists say it was built like 2,000 years ago, roughly. But there's a archaeologist in the 1940s that studied the astronomical alignments with the structures, and he says it's around 15,000 years old. And that puts us way back in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
But you look at all these blocks like this, and all these are perfectly cut. Like straight, right angles, cut inside of each other.
Yeah.
These are like for interlocking them together.
When they found these, were these interlocked? Or they,
No.
So they were apart.
They're just scattered in this area. They figured like before they were together, but something happened, earthquake, flood, they don't really know, but it just, boom, shattered it to pieces.
Which is interesting because there is a pyramid over in Egypt that they think exploded too. There's a whole side of it has a big gouge coming out of it, and they think that's why the pyramids are like power stations. They figured that one was a power station and blew out, and then so it's interesting that a lot of these types of megalithic structures have been destroyed in some way.
Maybe it was sabotaged by fellow Pyramidians.
Pyramidians.
That was the first I've heard that.
You say pyramidians, you know what runs through my head is tell me if I'm wrong, Resident Evil pyramid.
Pyramid.
Yeah.
That's Silent Hill.
No, Silent
It's
Hill.
Silent Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Pyramidians. Damn.
The weird thing about this is that 15,000 years ago would put us in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
And then they were using, just rocks to beat stuff with to make it. But this granite is the second hardest substance on Earth. The only hardest substance is diamond.
Jesus.
So to cut something, you have to have something harder than it to break it apart.
You have to use
So you have
diamond.
to use diamond. Or some other technology that we don't have anymore.
Yeah, let's talk about those holes too.
Yeah.
That's always gotten me about these.
These go right through at weird, not perfect angles that go in like this.
So you're talking about cavemen.
Yep.
They haven't figured out bronze, iron. They're using stone tools,
Yep.
and they carved holes in perfect right angles.
Well, the
Yeah.
ones you saw earlier, they were like drill bit size.
Yeah.
And perfectly lined up, spaced out.
So that would mean
throughout.
that because they're Stone Age, we could go out and do that right now, right? Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, sure.
They said we have trouble, right?
Exactly. That's
Exactly.
my point. We can't do this.
We can.
but yet- See, I love this. I absolutely love this. This goes back to where I personally believe that we have been advanced once before, or there's been a
absolutely.
civilization advanced once before.
And some of these are over. Like here, you can see these
Yeah.
dots. These are the drills. There's little holes right here.
And it's like, what would those have been for? Draining holes? You
Right.
know?
Now, they have holes like that when they work marble,
Yep.
and they drilled holes down there, and then they'd put wooden dowels into the marble,
Okay.
and they'd fill it with water, and that wood would expand, and that'd create a crack. And I could almost see this being that type of thing. However, they're really, really, really small. Like those
There's
are
no way to make that. with
these are really
stone,
big, and then the
even bone
wood. Yeah,
tools.
this is the crazy, absolutely crazy.
Like I said, small drill bit size.
Yep.
And even if you used a drill bit, it would crack. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
you'd think it's stone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to say you're
Unless it's
cutting
like
this,
diamond, they said it's really hard.
so if you had a diamond, a dust, say, and you were to use a saw with diamond dust, I could see having those little holes to fill that diamond dust or that sand, and then keep on going back and forth over and over and over.
Right?
But then you still got to drill the damn holes. I mean, no matter which way you point at it, you still got to either have the technology to do it, or you got to have the technology to do the other. And that groove and that hole, that's a really, really good circle.
Yeah. Right? It's almost perfect circle.
Yeah.
The name of a band.
It is. That's a good band, too.
Oh, yeah. That back.
Yes.
How do you cut that with stone tools?
I can't even draw that on paper.
No.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like all the lines are perfect angles, and they go in.
Yeah. It would be easier if it was coming at you,
Right.
but since it's inverted, it's going in. You have to carve in and then in. I don't know.
It's like an inch, no, less than that, for that whole line.
And they're saying
Yep.
now. I watched a documentary on this, and they were saying that that's the way they were cutting these tools. They were cutting them, and they've proven that they could cut the stone in the documentary. What got me about the documentary is, yeah, so you prove that they could cut it, but you're still dating this back to Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
You're still dating it way back further. And like the one guy said, it was what, like 15 million years or
15,000.
15,000. I mean,
Yep.
that's long ways away. We didn't have that technology.
No, that would be before like Mesopotamia time.
Like that's way too
Yeah.
far.
And the natives that live there, they call that spot like where the earth was created. This is where the gods came down and created the earth.
No shit.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of ancient astronaut theorists say this is where they think it was a landing pad
Oh.
for spaceships because it could take the heat. And actually, in some documentaries, there a lot of these rocks are like really weird magnetized. Like you can take like true north, find it, but then you stick it by the rock and it's just spinning and spinning and spinning.
No shit.
Like how do these granites become magnetized? Like with
No,
contact
yeah.
of radioactive stuff or spaceship.
No shit. Well, that documentary we all watched, that had, they said it was for big, massive doors, right?
Yep, that
What if
could
those
be.
doors actually were kind of
Up.
swung up? Yeah,
The ray go down in it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be pretty badass.
Right.
And then you'd have to figure out how to, because those blocks are huge
Oh, heavy.
and heavy. So if you had a door connected to that, the door would be heavier and the door would be
Mm-hmm.
bigger. So these massive stone doors, if that's what it was really for, I mean, those would be hundreds of tons.
Oh, yeah.
How do you do that? You don't have garage door openers back then.
Nope.
And that'd be a
Well,
massive
that's
ass
another
garage
thing.
door
Like,
opener.
Some of the flat slabs they didn't show any in the show we watched, but they're 100 tons. And the nearest rock quarry is 10 miles away. And there's no trees in this area. It's like desert. So how do they move that rock, 100, more than one, a whole bunch of them, over 100 tons, 10 miles,
On the
in the mountains,
On the back of turtles.
right? In the mountains.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's insane.
I love it. These things always get me. I love megalithic structures. And I've read stuff that they said that they would sing to the stones and they'd levitate.
Yeah.
I've heard of them saying that they could grow the stone, like they
Grow
did
it?
something, the stone would actually like become soft and malleable, and then they could all sorts of stuff.
That's interesting.
But the singing and that type of thing goes back to that resonance frequency you talk
Right,
about.
yeah.
So they always talk about humming and whatnot. Even in Buddhism, they talk about, in certain things that you read, they talk about how you could hum that om and you could levitate things and do whatnot. So it's amazing that sound might be something as simple as what we're moving these things with, but we'd have to break out of our consciousness thinking that we are the most advanced and we know everything.
Right.
So holy shit, that's a
Yeah,
big
that's
rock.
one of the big slabs. They're like 100 tons, and they move that. So you see, it's all mountains, no trees. Like they said, they couldn't use the wheels, like logs down as wheels to roll them because there's no
Oh.
trees there.
Yeah. Were there trees back then?
According to them, no, because it's actually like
That's
it's
a desert,
it
isn't
looks
it?
like a valley from this picture, but it's actually on top of like a plateau.
I was gonna say, yeah, that whole area is kind of like
So it's
desert
just
Andes
barren.
mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that supposed to be that skull up there? Is that supposed to be the civilization that?
I don't know what that is. That's
I
I've never
they
seen-
might have elongated skull people there
Right.
too. Yeah.
well, yeah, there was a lot of them in South America.
Yes.
Those
Yeah, it
skulls
really
found.
was.
I wonder if they're better mentally then.
You'd imagine. You have a bigger head,
You got
bigger brain,
You gotta
Unless
have
they use less percentage.
right?
just a thick ass skull. They're just going around banging their head against the rock and it flakes off. We don't use tools. We just use our foreheads.
Why didn't they say they took their kids and they would shove them into the thing and then press
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, I've been reading stuff like that, where they use rings and they'd elongate the skull that way and whatnot. But I was watching a documentary where a guy said that's impossible to do, not to the degree of which you see these skulls, because even at a young age it has to deform and grow and all this other crazy stuff. But I don't remember what I've watched so much of this stuff I hardly remember sometimes. So yeah, that's a big, massive block.
They have like gateways, stuff like that. There.
You see a lot of that in megalithic structures. Just fucking gateways in the middle of nowhere. Instant transportation.
Yeah, right. Stargates.
Stargate, yeah.
That was another theory for that place. But like another thing like these these rocks are put together without any mortar.
Yes.
They just fit perfectly.
And you can't even get a knife blade or a
Nope.
piece of paper between them, and we can't do that to this day.
Nope.
That is nuts. And they've been standing there for however many centuries or millennia or whatever.
Yeah, millennia.
And they're still standing. Yeah, it's been rubbleized, but I mean, there's still walls. We couldn't build something now that would last that long.
No, never.
I like that picture.
Yeah. Look
That's
how smooth
crazy.
it is.
Yeah. Crazy right angles.
Perfectly smooth.
Almost an optical
You can't do
illusion.
that with stone because there's not that accuracy. It's just chunk.
Yeah,
Chunk.
with a
Chunk.
Not with a chisel. You can't.
No.
You have to be able to sand that or something.
Well, like they said before, it's hard. The only thing that can cut this is diamond on our planet.
And then on top of that, on our planet, absolutely. And on top of that, people look at these things and they make excuses up on how it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Back in those times, the only thing you cared about was the next meal you were going to get.
Yep.
And the water. I mean, your shelter. I mean, that's pretty much it. At that time in the period of human race, it was all about survival. So why would you take time out of being a survivalist and build huge, massive stone structures?
Right, yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
Just a hobby.
Something to do in my off time when I'm not being,
There's no video games. I'm just going to build a fucking castle.
when someone's not trying to eat me or.
Yeah.
Another thing, like with these H blocks, they all like interlock. So, trying to figure out how to say this, they didn't have writing. And for all these to interlock, you got to have plans.
Yep.
You got to be equal. You're not gonna make something the exact same size to fit in together without it being written down, plans drawn out, so you have the exact dimensions, measurements. But this is if it 15,000 years ago, we didn't have writing.
Yep.
So how did they know how to make them? Which size? This should be this wide. This should be that wide.
Maybe they use
I
acorns.
don't know.
Yeah. 15 acorns across.
Right.
You're absolutely correct because, they had to have measurement then, math,
Yep.
written language, and a way to communicate. That's advanced civilization.
We had nothing of that sort back then.
No. Love it, dude. This is one of my favorite things. Megalithic structures always get me.
Me too.
I really do. Yeah, I do.
Just go down there.
That'd be great. And that works. Maybe someone will be like, hey, Nova or PBS, be like, we want you 4 fuckers. Go on down there. Or 5. And we want you to go down there and tell us what you think. And that would be badass, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That'd
absolutely.
be so cool.
I'd love to travel to a lot of these sites.
Oh, yeah. If I could, I would travel just the monolithic sites.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to go to Hawaii. I'm going over to
Jenny,
Stonehenge.
have you guys ever go to Stonehenge at all? Or?
Not yet.
I want to.
I'd love to.
I hear it's like if you can feel the frequency.
Yeah,
shift.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
But you have to be in tune.
I'm in tune.
Are you in tune?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
True believer.
He is. That's why we're actually gonna run inside and tell you that there's a UFO out there to see what you did. Thought it'd be
Yeah,
funny.
it's right here.
Dan doesn't believe me. I could call him and be like, "There's a UFO coming at me right now." Shut up. Damn it, Dano.
I don't believe it coming from you.
Yeah, I know. Right? The one time I'm trying to be honest and serious, you'd be like, "No, you're full of shit."
What happened to Dusty? No one knows.
No one knows. I come back 4 weeks later. I'm like, dude, I've been to places. And Dan be like, shut up, you're on vacation. Damn, I'm telling you, I got you a fucking hat. They don't have hats.
Went to Pluto and all I got was his hat.
I just read this the other day, had to cover it, and I know Dan's going to love this. That astronomers may have found giant alien megastructures orbiting star near the Milky Way. I am so pumped. These structures are near the sun. That is not a picture. That's a picture of the Milky Way, but they don't really have anything else. But there's a cluster of objects in space that look like something that would expect from an alien civilization to build. The reason they say this, and I can read a little bit, but I'll tell you what I've read, is we understand as the more we evolve, then we're going to need more energy. And a lot of people say that we would collect energy directly from the sun. So instead of waiting for the sun rays to get to us, we'd actually build things near the sun, like massive solar arrays. We could even figure out how to do force shields or magnetical shields or whatnot, and then we could actually live around there, blah, blah, blah. So what they've done is they were looking at this KI. Look at this thing. I love how they name. That's the star's name.
That's the beta name.
Yeah, I know, but I actually love it. You're trying to say something, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's KIC 846852. I almost feel like R2D2. Between the constellations, I don't know constellations very well. I like to look at them, but I don't know the names of them. So they went ahead and looked at it, and there's a strange light pattern than any other stars in the search for habitable planets. So what they do, the Kepler works, if you don't know, because Kepler's found a lot of these planets, or places like these, or not places like this, but Kepler is looking for planets in the Goldilocks zone, so we can have liquid water for life. And what they do is they analyze light from distant places in the universe, looking for changes to take place when planets move in front of the stars. And the dip from starlight does not seem to be a normal pattern for a planet. So that means they had to look at it more. All right, so they said it was interesting and bizarre. And then they said this was the light formation and whatnot, the type formation of the stuff. This was consistent with the mass of debris that surrounds a young star, just as it did with our sun before the planets were formed. However, this star is not young, and the debris may have been deposited around it fairly recently, or it would have been clumped together by gravity or swallowed by a star itself. And that's the other thing. It's close, but it's not being swallowed by the star. So they kept on looking at it and whatnot. And the only thing I'm just not going to read the rest
So
of it.
they're looking at this through a telescope?
Yeah. Telescope and everything else.
Because an article that Steve Weber sent me last night, they haven't looked at it yet, but there was like some kind of graph that they were looking at.
That's a light spectrum, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at. That's what that telescope's actually looking at, is the spectrum of light. So when that spectrum will dip down, that's when you know a planet's went by it, because it shifts the light. So what this is doing is it's not dipping the same way everything else
Irregular.
does. So
This is different than that.
This is different from
Okay.
that. That's why they're saying, okay, this has to be something that we haven't seen. Well, the only thing we've ever seen orbiting in a solar system is planets and moons, and then of course your asteroid belt so once in a while. But this is nothing like that. And
Because it's a really old star. If it was a young star, it would be.
yeah,
It'd be okay.
it was young
But it's
because you
old.
still have all the gas and,
Yeah.
and that all that circling around making planets. But this is old. This is still, solar system's already been made and everything else. So what they're gonna do is, and I'm loving this, is that what they figured is now the possibility of the objects were created by intelligent creatures is being taken very seriously by the team. They become more, just like I said, civilizations become more advanced. They create new and better ways of collecting energy. The end result being harassing
Harassing the energy.
harassing the sun for energy, harnessing the sun for energy with megastructures being placed around the star system. And this is something I've actually read about before. I got really excited about these types of things when they were talking about making a space elevator in Florida that would go ahead and we could just transport, like in an elevator, transport stuff up to the internet.
Did they ever say why that didn't happen?
I think the physics is wrong with it. And
Physics is really hard.
you can't. We could almost do it now. If we had carbon nanotubes that we can grow now. We could almost do it, but it's still pretty difficult. So I don't know if we'll ever get the space elevator, which would be cool as hell.
Awesome.
So here's what's going to happen. People are going to start staring at this. This is the best part. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, they're going to start pointing all their satellites out there, and they're going to look for audio signals. So they're going to try to find out whether or not we might be able to hear something from that constellation. So, I mean, really, if this is true, if there are megastructures out there, one, we've just proven that there's alien life. Two, if they are broadcasting something, because we've been looking, but you're here. This is space. If you look anywhere, I mean, it's finite. You're never going to hear something. It's like a needle in a haystack.
Now we got
someplace to point.
The other thing about this too, what would they say it's how many light years away?
Oh, I didn't read
150 or something like that.
Yeah,
I think so.
So I mean, that's how old that is already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they would be 150 light years time wise. That's a long time.
Yeah.
But they could be dead by now.
It just feels
Right,
like
we could just be seeing
we
it
could
right
just
now.
be seeing it now,
They'd be dead.
and they could already be extinct.
that's just crazy.
Or they could
Or
be
they could
sitting
be-
there looking at us.
Yeah, it
Right.
just feels like they could jump on top of us and we're done.
You badass. But I love this. I mean, ultimately, like I always want that tangible
absolutely.
reach out and touch something. Aliens are real. This excites the living hell out of me. It really does. I mean, to me, if we could say or get the Hubble to sit there and stare at it and we can see structures, I mean, there's my tangible evidence. I got a
Absolutely.
picture that I can say, aliens are real. All right, we got to stop with talking shit. We got to figure out something else to do because there's nothing to do
Yeah,
today.
we'd be done.
Right?
Maybe we don't want this to happen.
Maybe
It's the end of
they-
the show.
Maybe the cooking show will take off after.
So,
You can always do government stuff.
no, oh, yeah, we get a lot of haters.
Yeah.
Haters are fans.
Yeah, but that's so
Haters are
obvious
fans.
now too.
Well, to some people. To
us.
some people. Did you hear about that? I shouldn't bring this up, but did you hear about that? CNN has a poll for the Hillary
Hillary
and
Clinton.
Bernie Sanders debate, right? And they have pictures on their poll. It says, Bernie Sanders, who do you think won? It's like 81% of people say Bernie won. And then they go to their article. Hillary won the debate.
Right.
She looked better. And then they're talking about it. And somebody went ahead and said that they just deleted all those people that polled. They deleted them all, changed the polls, and then
They've been counting Bernie out since the beginning. They didn't even want him in there.
Which is funny because CNN is the one I read about. CNN is owned by Time Warner Cable. Yeah. Time Warner Cable is giving Hillary $31 million or some shit for her to win. Because lobbyists rule the country, if you didn't know that. I mean, ultimately, if I have to explain that to you, you haven't been paying attention. But anyway, so that's what they did. Well, they're not going to go ahead and bash Hillary, of course, so they went ahead.
I think they learned their lesson after the first time Rand Paul won and knew that how the internet was so powerful. So.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, and I don't want to get into politics too much, but when the people are like, oh yeah, politics, it doesn't work because there's people in place that are lying and cheating the American people. Yep. I mean, when Time Warner Cable can sit there and say, okay, we're going to do a poll. Nah, we don't like that shit. Cut half of them off, make sure she won. Yep. There you go. The American people go there. They don't do their research. They don't know these things. They see that she's winning. And then, of course, because of the crowd mentality, they're like,
hop on the bandwagon.
Oh, yeah, hop on the bandwagon.
I don't want to vote for the losing person.
Yeah, which is complete bullshit because, also in that debate, Hillary kept on saying, when I win. But old Sandy, Bernie, he was like, when we win. We win. It's just that simple I and we that can make a big difference because he's talking about us as a country and she's saying me. Mm-hmm. So I can, because she's making millions on that.
Maybe if she does get it, it'll be good because then the country will go down the tubes faster so we can get the resolution.
Oh, faster, I would almost say it's all right, but she just keeps on killing American soldiers left and fucking right and saying it doesn't matter. That really pisses me off.
Well, she leaked those documents and...
Well,
she should be in jail for.
Well, yeah,
Snowden's off hiding in Russia for doing something.
Yeah.
But she does it and it's just fine.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Snowden has to run away because he doesn't have lobbyists. But
exactly.
And I hear and I like Rand Paul, but then he went ahead and he was saying...
Is he still in it?
I don't know if he's still in it, but as a politician...
There's like 16 Republicans.
Yeah.
Who knows?
He was sitting there saying, we need to do this and this and this because the American people are being lied to, which is he only knows that because Snowden leaked all those files. But then he's sitting there going, Snowden needs to be in prison.
Rand Paul said that?
Yeah, that's what I hear. I'm not 100% saying doing research, but I hope to God he's wrong because I'd be a little pissed off to sit there and be like, yes, Snowden told me these things and they're all wrong. We're going to fix it.
Can you let people who have sensitive data just make the decision to reveal it to the world? I think you have to have laws against that. So I think there have to be laws against what Snowden did. But I've sort of tongue-in-cheek said that if I had the choice, I'd put Clapper and Snowden in the same jail cell for about the same period of time.
Put him in jail. That man should be put up on the shoulders of all the humans around here and been like, Snowden's a real hero because
he is.
He went ahead and said, this is injustice, this is wrong, I'm going to lose my job, I got to go into hiding. People don't understand what he had to sacrifice.
Yep.
And he said, this is more important. Yeah, everything, money, wife, kids. Or he didn't have kids, he had a girlfriend.
Yep.
Yeah, he had to sacrifice all of it, even his own freedom, to give us the information to tell us that the government's lying to us.
Always having to look over your back all the time, shoulder making sure.
Poor bastard.
Some U.S. CIA guy isn't going to kill you.
Yep. A little bit of wet work done. Yeah, that's too bad.
I'm sure we got tons of politics coming up because this is just the start, and we still got another year.
Yeah,
voting
year.
Yep. Yeah, we vote next November, so another year.
So we got plenty of time.
Yeah, we'll bet you about it some more, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, especially when it starts getting heated here.
Then you have a little red dot going. Hey, what is that? Stop saying negative things about Hillary or whoever,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Talk is Cheap. I want to mention here that we got a network special coming out this Friday. It's the boys went down to Oktoberfest. You guys did a fine job with that, and it looks great. They interviewed a lot of drunk people. I think you had a guy coming up saying something about his asshole at one point.
No shit, did I? I never know. I just love talking to people. So,
but be sure to check that out. It's great stuff. If you like this show, check out others on our network here and. Give it a shot. I mean, that's what it's all there for. We got TC taking over Chemlight Bandits, so that's going to be something that you want to watch for, too.
And TC's got his own channel, too. You can check out that.
Very Nation.
And, as always, take care.
The difference between Dano and Andy, I figured it out just now. Andy still wants to be on time and shit, but he likes to have a little fun with it. Dano, completely business fucking sense. Like, if you're not here on time, I'm docking your fucking pay. I'm not getting paid, Dano. You will get paid, and I will dock your first fucking check. I'm like, Jesus, Dano.
Oh shit, is this on AVA?
All right, you guys are live.
All right.
Check and direct and let's begin. Party on, pretty people. Here we go.
Welcome to Talk Us.